I just remember driving my car and losing control of my stick shift. I flew 77 feet out of my car and landed on my head.
I'm Sean Coltharp, and my relationship with Hillary is that I'm her mom. So Paducah is just this great little sized town, focused on music and arts, just a great place to raise a family. So we have 4 children, 3 daughters, and then Alex, our son.
I'm Alexander Coltharp, and I am Hillary's little brother. So Hillary and I were pretty close, especially the last few years. We clicked, especially after she had her son.
My name is Max Derrick, and I'm Hillary's son. So she was a hairstylist, and one of the few things I remember about her before the crash was like what she would wear to work. And I remember hearing her like high heels on the floor of the salon she worked at.
Well, I used to be a hairdresser, and the salon I worked at, the salon's name was Great Expectations, and I've always had large expectations. Thank God that didn't wear off.
Jay Brasher, the owner of Great Expectations Hair and Nail Studio. Hillary had been working here for about 2.5 years before her wreck. Sassy, vibrant, stubborn.
And I've said it 100 times, she was this person when she'd drive the car, she'd drive too fast, she'd multitask, she'd text, or throw the flap down, and at the time with CDs, look for another CD or put lipstick on while she was driving, and we fussed at her all the time about it.
According to the police report, she was driving on a straight stretch of I-24 up by the Kentucky Lake exit, and she ran into the median, flipped her car, and was ejected. They found her phone, and we're able to get into it and see she was in the process of texting somebody, and then just went away.
Her car hit that median. I don't know if a tire dug in or what, and her car began to flip. And at some point in that roll, she was ejected from the car. So not only was she texting, she wasn't wearing her seatbelt.
We went back to the restaurant, got the rest of the family, and went to the hospital. She was in bad shape.
If the wreck was as bad as my knee-jerk reaction felt it was, that everything's different now.
They brought her out in a wheelchair, and she had a bandana over her head. And I remember seeing that there was like a dent in it in the back from where they did the surgery, where they took I think it was like a quarter of her skull out to do the surgery.
She couldn't talk, of course, at first, and that came later. And there was little bits and pieces, and it was just like having a baby here, except worse.
Just watching your loved one go through all the movements that come and agitation that comes from sort of the wake up and the painfulness of it. The injury was in September, and I think it was April before she was actually taking a step the next year.
I was thought of as possibly going to be deaf in my left ear, blind in my left eye.
It just changed like every aspect of my life. My dad lived in Cincinnati at the time when Mom had her accident. He would need help with me once he found out that he was going to be taking custody. And then I had to go to a new school and meet all new people, and obviously didn't get to see Mom the same ever again.
When I finally could speak and knew what I was talking about, still not average, aka physically able to do as much as I want to do, or be as well as I want to be. And still, I can walk. I can walk caneless if I go really slowly. I don't have much patience with me.
She was so close to what I would have said, I think we all would have said, was carving out a little life. But she had gotten to where she could cook and bake. And then she started having seizures.
Hillary regained just enough of herself to know what she's lost.
I'll never remember I'll never remember every moment of the last billion years. I've had to regrow up again. I mean, I've had to, but gotten to regrow up again.
It was always hard for me to wrap my head around. Like, I remember senior night for football was really hard because I had all my friends' parents walking out, and then my mom was in her like mobility scooter with me. And I mean, like I wasn't embarrassed of it, but it was hard for me to kind of make that click in my head that I was just different than how everyone else was.
She always had this beauty about her, and she's got a constant angst about her now. She's very different looking. She doesn't walk as well as she did. She's in a wheelchair a lot more than she has been. She's always fought that wheelchair, and she's succumbed a good bit to it.
She's a whole new girl. There are little glimpses of the old Hillary that you see every once in a while, but she's not the same girl that I knew.
We'll talk over the phone all the time. Mother-son relationship, I would say, is non-existent. That's very hard. I don't want to say she wasn't there, but she wasn't able to be there.
So there was a time when it was difficult for them to even see each other at all. And in the meantime, then he starts growing up. But they still have, just because they haven't grown up with each other, that a lot of her memories are memories probably of him as a little boy, not the man he's become. And a lot of his memories are probably as a young kid looking at his mother.
This will be the first time since maybe my freshman year of college, so 2.5 years. I know that she'll be happy to see me. It's just there's a lot of anxiety that comes with the relationship in general, but especially after not seeing her for so long, I'm worried that it'll make me get a little emotional. It's not worth it. If you're texting someone, I get that like people don't want to leave them hanging. Just wait until you're not driving. I think it's probably the best way to say that.
So the bottom line is, I say it all the time. If you're looking at your phone, if you're texting and driving, if you're looking down to see if your voice text was adequate, believe me, in the end, you're going to have a car crash. You will. You will have a car crash. And you can live this kind of life that we're all living, but especially Hillary.
When you're driving, do not answer a text or send a text. That can wait until your car stopped or you get to where you're going.
Put it down. Put it down. Don't let it tempt you. It'll wait. It's my message. Wait. Because it not only will affect your life, it'll affect all those around you.